Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Despite the rhetoric, despite his claims of support for Zelensky, it's becoming apparent that reality is hitting Starmer, and he is paying far more attention to America. He's kind of ditching Zelensky, not in words, but in deeds. He's distancing himself slightly because he doesn't want Britain to have tariffs and he wants to do a trade deal. I think the reality is he knows he needs to do something or Britain will collapse in and around itself, and he needs to be seen as someone who is capable of doing these international deals, of being statesmanlike. And yet he's got to give the right signals to the rest of Europe about, Zelensky is such a great man. I don't think he is. And indeed, I think with the fact that Ukrainians themselves have now just about had enough with Zelensky, the leaders of Europe are starting to see that perhaps this constant backing, this constant lionisation of this tiny little, what I would consider corrupt comedian turned billionaire is no longer, good optics, shall we say. And so they are all starting to drop support for Zelensky. Not for the Ukraine, of course. That's a different matter. Zelensky is not the Ukraine. But they're starting to see that perhaps Zelensky is part of the problem, not part of the solution. And so they are starting to come around, perhaps, to Trump's view. But certainly Starmer is definitely on the old kissing the ring manoeuvres at the moment. He's going back over, I believe, Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Because, more ass kissing. He wants to make sure we don't get those tariffs. But, he's in a very difficult position. But then, to be fair, he's put himself in it. He opens his mouth and does the wrong thing time and time again. And if he does distance himself from Zelensky, does the $3 billion a year for the next 100 years still stand? Now, Reform have said day one, that dies. They rip that up. It ain't happening. Chagos, they're ripping up. That ain't happening. There's so many things that ain't happening, which is why we've got to still stick with Reform even through this difficult time. We've got to put sense back into politics. It's just nice to see that Starmer finally is starting to get, tiny 1% common sense. Thanks very much. Bye.